Hello, hello, hello. I remembered the cup today. Coffee time. Yeah, it's still, it's still war. It's still Russia invading Ukraine. It's been a week now, isn't it? And you can see in the capital, Kiev, an apartment building destroyed, which I believe isn't that a war crime? You're not supposed to bomb civilian areas. Meanwhile, this is in Konotop. A Russian soldier is walking through a crowd demanding their surrender, holding 2 live grenades. That's how desperate they are. They haven't got control at all. So yeah. But yeah, the city of Kherson has apparently fallen to the Russians. And Sergei Lavrov likens the US to Nazi Germany and repeats warnings that World War III can only be nuclear. It's good, isn't it? But yeah, they're seizing super yachts and property left, right, and centre from the oligarchs. Roman Abramovich is selling Chelsea Football Club. And the money is going into a charitable trust, which is going to go to the victims of the Ukraine war. Again, he's distancing himself. Him and Putin like that. Again, he should really be, locked up. I think a lot of these people have had a really easy time of it. And there's lots of talk of further sanctions, and even, in the UK, us seizing property, the government seizing oligarchs' property permanently, and possibly using it to house Ukrainian refugees. These are the sanctions currently being drawn up by Michael Gove, apparently, but we'll see if anything happens, because again, what they say and what they do are 2 different things, but I'd like to see that happen. Alisher Usmanov's £500 million, 500-foot long mega yacht has been seized by the EU. The Dilbar was seized by German authorities in Hamburg on Monday, which is good. That's what we need. There's just so much. There's so much to read about the current conflict. So much to read. Dear. It's just all Russia at the moment. Nothing good to say. But I did store some funnies. Oh, there was the Russians. They arrested an old 78-year-old grandmother for protesting against the conflict too. But there you go. But yeah. But this fella, he's a hero. This is Ukrainian sailor Taras Ostapchuk. He let's pull his picture up. He went above the call of duty, this fella, because he did his best. What did he do? He tried to sink a Russian military supplier's 5 million plus yacht in Mallorca. He's a mechanical engineer, and he tried to scuttle the 156-foot Lady Anastasia, owned by millionaire Alexander Midyev, after seeing pictures of missiles hitting apartment blocks. So this is the yacht that he tried to sink. Wasn't successful, but hey, he gave it a good shot. Looks very nice. But hey, that's what selling weapons buys you, folks. So yeah, he tried to sink. It didn't work, but Taras he's apparently returned to the Ukraine and intends to pick up arms against against the Russians. So that's good. But they've really got to Putin now. What have they done? How have they got inside his head? The World Taekwondo organization have revoked his honorary black belt. Here he is. Here's Putin receiving it. He doesn't do the sport, but he was given the award back in 2013 by the World Taekwondo Federation President Chao Chung-won. And here he is doing judo. He's more of a judo man, because again, there's nothing odder than two men in their pajamas wrestling themselves on a soft mat, is there? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, they've taken his honour away, and he's been blacklisted apparently. And because he was also an honorary president of the International Judo Federation. He's been suspended from that. They're hitting him where it hurts. Yeah. I don't think anyone cares. Do they really? I don't think anybody does. But yeah, a Ukrainian grandmother, Reza Smatko, she was talking to CNN's Clarissa Ward, and she's been preparing Molotov cocktails. Here you go. There are the Molotov cocktails, and here's Reza herself, and she said, "Let the Russian shits come here. We're ready to greet them." And they're going to give them a very warm greeting, a very toasty greeting, because we know what those Molotov cocktails can do. So yeah, you're going to like this one. This is the story of Fergus Farrelly. Fergus Farrelly. He's from Shercock, which is a really appropriate place name in County Cavan in Ireland. And he's a construction worker, old Fergus. And he woke up in pain in January the 7th. And he looked down, and there was a cyst the size of a marble on his member, on the wife's best friend, on little Fergus. I mean, oh my goodness. So he rushed to hospital 3 days later after discovering the lump. The 26-year-old went there, and he went there because it didn't go down, and it became golf ball size. It got bigger, turned purple, and burned. But yeah, so the doctors gave him, of course, antibiotics and various drugs, and he spent 4 days in hospital. And they took blood tests, and they found black widow venom in his blood. So what they call a false, would it be a false black widow, or no, it'd be a regular black widow spider in County Cavan, Ireland. Black widows are one of the most venomous spiders in the world, but are rarely found in Ireland or the UK. So, and it managed to bite Fergus Farrelly from Shercock in County Cavan on the cock. Now, I got to think that maybe he was trying to force this black widow spider down his urethra, because we get a lot of those stories on here. But yeah, he was he was in danger of losing his cock. And here's a picture of a black widow spider, just to put the heebies up here. Because I'm sorry, I don't know, you'd notice that in your underpants, wouldn't you? You would. I'd notice that if it was in my underpants, and certainly if it bit me on the cock. And here's a picture of Fergus himself, who I think's got a few questions to answer, don't you? I think he needs to answer a few questions, as if to say, what? Come on, man, what was you really doing? But yeah, to follow up on our cow question, you remember the cow? You remember there were cows wandering the beach in Queensland, Well, one of the cows, right? See, let me pull up a picture of the cow. Here he is. Just, oops, press the wrong button there. Wandering around on the beach, right? He was wandering around on the beach, and I couldn't get him off the beach. So eventually he ended up at the Boyd's Bay Bridge at Tweed Head. I'm sure all the Australians know exactly where that is. Is it a good place to have a barbie? Oh dear, that's the Australians lost. There he was. I don't know if did he have a name? I think we should call him Angus. Poor Angus. So anyway, I was having trouble rescuing him, so the police turned up, and they shot him 5 times. They shot poor Angus. It's a Geronimo all over again. Remember Geronimo the alpaca? They shot the cow. I mean, come on. That's not right, is it? But apparently they had burgers for dinner that night, the local cops. But yeah, farm animal rescue that's based at Dayborough, which worked half a day trying to save the cow. Said they were distraught that it came to that with more time they could have saved the animal. Oh boy, that's a bit of a sad story, isn't it? And finally, court news. This is the story of, I've got to get his name right, Ankit Love. Here he is. He looks like a nice chap. Here he is, Ankit Love. And he was being charged. Well, I don't know, I guess he was charged because he'd been throwing stones at the Indian High Commission in protest over the illegal occupation of Kashmir. And he was in court the other day. The 38-year-old was in court, and he said, "Oh no, you can't charge me." Oh, well, why not? What, are you innocent? Mistaken identity? You know, maybe you got an alibi. He went, you can't charge me because I'm the Maharaja of Jammu and Kashmir, and it should be granted sovereign immunity. Apparently, he was a former MTV star. Apparently, his song, titled Beethoven Burst, was a #1 hit on the MTV Hive Top 100 chart. Don't worry, I've not heard of him either. But yeah, he's charged with damaging the window and door of the High Commission, the Indian High Commission. But yeah, remember folks, if you get stopped by the police, just claim you're the Maharaja. That should do it. And I've got to go because the doorbell's ringing. So I'll see you tomorrow. Drink it up.